welcome to the Insurance Buzz. This is your host, Michael Weaver. Today, we have my favorite guest. Might as well be co-host by now.
Yeah, let's just claim it. Let's just make it happen.
Co-host, Courtney Weaver in the house today. What's up?
I am so excited to be here. I'm always excited. I always say that because I'm genuinely fired up every time I come in here.
Well, dang, what's got you fired up today? What are we talking about?
We're talking about how your inability to delegate is costing you your freedom.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the difference between...
Yeah, y'all better get a cup of coffee or bourbon. I don't know what's going on, but we're about to get buzzed. I can already feel it.
You not being able to delegate, you wanting to have all of this control over your business is the thing that is separating you from actually having a business versus having a job.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about delegation and what happens when you don't delegate, when you would rather have control over every single aspect in your business. Let's take it a step further. Not just having control over it, but actually doing it yourself. And I think that there is a huge difference between knowing how to do everything in your business, knowing how to run every single piece of your agency versus you actually being the person that has to do it.
Yeah.
Those are two different things, and I think
you can know how, but you don't have to actually do it. Like, ultimately, I'm gonna love this topic. This is so good because we struggled with this in the beginning, and so many also struggle with it. Of hey, I own a business, I run a business. But I am the business. Like you sign up for freedom, you sign up for amazing opportunity financially, and then you lock yourself into not only a 9-to-5, but ultimately like a 24/7 gig because even when you're not at work, you're still at work because your email's blowing up, customers are blowing you up, and you haven't empowered and delegated to your team. You haven't empowered your team to be able to have the freedom, have the time, make the money you want so that you're happy.
Yeah, so you're the bottleneck. And I think that it's important, and I want to have this conversation here of there is a time and a place where you can't delegate.
Yeah, I just keep thinking about this topic. Like, you're handcuffed to your own business.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. All right. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Let's go. Let's dive into this.
Well, you do have to look at this from a financial situation. You do have to be smart about what you can and cannot delegate. But what I see so many times is we overhire because we want to be at capacity and we want all this production and we want this, that, and the other. But then we don't delegate the things that actually give us as leaders more time in our business. So I want to talk about some things that I would have delegated right off the bat and how delegation actually gave us just time. So I want to share where this really came into play for us. So we've been in business since 2014. That's when our agency, we started agency. And then we went on to start multiple other businesses. And a lot of times it was us running it. And we were candidly control freaks. We wanted to make sure it was done how we would do it. And we always had this expectation that we're the best ones for the job. And that was probably ego talking, but I think we have a high standard and we have a high expectation. And what we would do was we knew we could do it 100% instead of empowering somebody and being okay with 80% or 90%.
Well, it's kind of like that stupid analogy, and it's not, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. And it's like, okay, well, in certain situations, I can understand that, but your entire career, no. if it's gonna be, it's up to me. No, it can't always be up to you. And that's something obviously, you just said, we personally struggled with, but being able to empower and delegate to your team is extremely powerful.
Yeah. There's two sides of the spectrum. So there's the side of the spectrum where you want to control everything and you're the person who's going to do it and you're the best person for the job. There's the other side of the spectrum where you don't want to do any of it And then you're feeling like, okay, I'm dependent on everyone else in this office. And it's almost the scarcity feeling of, if they leave, can I handle this?
Yep.
So versus the other end is, I don't need them. I can handle this all by myself. So I think the point we're trying to make is, if you want freedom, you've got to land somewhere in the middle of those two things. You've got to go right down the middle. So I want to share a story of where this came into play, and I'm going to circle back to all of this. So we've been in business for a while now. We've started multiple different businesses, and what we started noticing was, the more we empowered our team, the more it gave us the freedom to do what we wanted and actually do the things that only we can do.
Yep.
So we're the only ones that can go out and network and be the face and actually do the podcast or lead the trainings that have our name on it or make the connections. The rest of the stuff can all be delegated out for the most part. And so, the past 2 years, we've been trying to have a family, and we kind of reached this spot where we decided, okay, we're going to have to move on to the next stage. And we decided to go down the IVF path. And so we did that in September, and it was a lot.
It was. Yeah.
Because it was scary for both of us, but I'll just speak to my perspective. It was scary for me because I didn't know what would happen when I stepped away, when I was no longer in the role of where I was as the leader, and then how that would affect you. Because as business partners, I mean, we're business partners, yes, but we're also married, and this is our life, and we're going down this path of, how does this change our family dynamic too? And what does it look like when one person's completely out of the equation? What we didn't know was that it was going to take this turn. So we were going through IVF at the same time that we were doing our 30 and 5 challenge. Just so happened that that's how it all lined up. And what happened was, unfortunately, we had an unsuccessful medication, surgery, didn't wind up happening. And we were completely off the grid. Mm-hmm. We had this immense grief. We had to heal. We had to really just be support for each other. And our business, we couldn't even think about it. Like, it wasn't even on our, like, that. No,
we disconnect. I mean, we totally disconnected. Because emotionally we were just, we were dealing with a lot, and
we needed time.
Yes.
We needed time. We needed space. We had to really just be there for each other as partners. And if we hadn't have delegated, if we hadn't have empowered our team to make decisions, to go ahead and say yes or no, to build this machine that runs, even if we need a minute, a day, a week, a month.
Yep.
If we hadn't have done that, if
we would have had to jump right back into it and not have been able to actually work through what was going on in our personal life, our emotions, that would have only carried over to other aspects of our life.
Yeah.
And eventually it would have, what we all do as humans, it would have bundled up and eventually came out as probably chaos to someone or something in an unintended fashion, because that's what happens when emotions build up and they're not worked through and dealt with. So yes, we were very blessed that we had the team.
No, don't say that. It's not even about that. It's not that we were blessed. That's like not taking accountability.
True. That's true.
It's taking accountability and prioritizing what's important. And if you are here, if you are a business owner, to some degree, there is an element of freedom that you desire. Maybe it's financial freedom to be able to make the choice that you want to make. Yep. Maybe it's time freedom to be able to say, hey, I'm going to need a week to heal, and you're going to just have to figure it out without me. To some
Maybe you
degree.
want to take the family on a vacation for a month and be disconnected, be gone. Like, Enjoy what you've been working so hard to build.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about, is how incredibly important delegation is. And I think it's beyond just the health of your business. I think it goes into also the health of you as a human being and your personal life.
If we cannot delegate to our team, so number one, also by delegating, you're empowering. Mm-hmm. By empowering, it's trust.
Yeah.
Like it's ownership. It's a cult, like you're building a culture of empowerment, which is a really, really beautiful thing. But if you don't do that,
that's confidence too. It's saying I trust you.
You can never walk away. You're always handcuffed. You're always going to have, no matter what you're doing, because we've been there. Like no matter what you're doing, you always have the thought in your mind of, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? Like I've been gone. Oh no. Like, oh, I need to check my email. Oh, I need to do, like, that is not fun. That's
a job.
That is not a business. That is, that's like the worst case scenario.
Yeah. So let's talk about how we delegate, because we've talked about what happens when you don't. And we're speaking to this from a personal aspect, again, from a business aspect of, you've been in that spot where you can't make a choice, or you can't leave, or you can't take time off, or you can't fire this person because you don't know how to do this job. So let's talk about what to delegate and what delegation even looks like. So I think the first thing that I would do is really assess your business and where you're at from a financial situation. What can you realistically delegate? And this can be something very, very small.
Yeah.
This can be something, I remember one of the first things we delegated was mailing out. I don't even know if they still do this. Do you still mail out like life policies?
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the first things that we started delegating out was mail.
And checking the mail. That was going to be my first thing too.
Yeah. Sorting through what comes to us, and then what they can handle. Yeah. And we had an office manager at the time, what she could handle in the office, what came to us, and then what needed to be mailed out to customers. We mailed out thank you cards. We mailed out life policies. When somebody had a baby, we would mail out bibs. So this was just this task right here.
And you're hitting on a great point right now. Like start with the easy, like the tasks that are easy, anyone can do it, because not only is that going to empower the team, but that's going to allow you to build trust, not only in your team, but within yourself to actually be like, oh, they did it, and they continue to do it, and they're doing it the way that, like, they'll create their own maybe routine, but as long as it gets done, like it gets done. So it helps you build trust as a leader and help build that confidence, really muscle of, great, okay, this is something I used to do. I assigned it out and it gets done. Yep.
So pick the task, start very small, and then you're going to have to train them on how this looks. So what is the process? Yep. When do we check the mail? What does it look like to grab the mail? What gets sorted? What gets thrown away? What goes back out? And then you have to communicate what is done.
Yeah, so I want to go back though real fast to figure out like what should you actually be doing and what should you not be doing. Okay. So one thing that we always do is we will do a job duties and expectations. So what are we currently doing? What is our team doing? And then based off of what we are doing, we will then take it a step further. All right. And we do the Benjamin Franklin T-chart of things that, okay, so on the T-chart, what I like to do, what I don't like to do.
Yeah.
So then, and here we go. Like the things you like to do are going to change. Like they've changed throughout our career.
Yeah.
So we like to do this at least, I would say, on a semi-annual basis. We like to do this 2 times a year at a minimum.
Yeah. You can do this quarterly.
Yeah, quarterly is great too.
If you do that within your
minimum
business.
Annually. Minimum annually. So what do you like to do? What do you not like to do? Out of the things you don't like to do, who can help you do those?
So everyone in the office does that. So you and everyone in the office does that? Or is it just you as the leader?
I would like to know job duties, expectations of everyone in the office to make sure we're all clear. So I want to have that conversation, communication with them. But then I also like to know, hey, what is it that we are doing that we like to do? What do we not like to do? And how or who is the best fit for the things we don't like to do? How can we empower those individuals to do the things we don't like to do? And it's not like sometimes, look, this is business ownership. You're still going to have to do some things you may not like to do until you get the right person in there to be. It's not like a lot of times you can just offload everything that you don't like to do. I wish that we could. I wish.
Oh my God. There's so many times I tried to do that and it blew up in my face.
Yep. So,
and then I wound up taking it back and all of the problems. So
that's just an idea on how to figure out really what what I like to do as a owner, what I don't like to do. And then out of those things I don't like to do, who do I think would be the best fit to take that over and then have that conversation?
Yeah. So does the skill match the task?
Yep. So then obviously it's time to train. So first you got to create the task list. Now it's time to train.
Yeah. I want to talk about, because I said that blew up in my face. So I want to elaborate a little bit on the pitfalls of this and what to look for. So if you don't slow drip, like take it task by task, match the skill with the task. So the skill that the person has with the task that the person is going to complete, take the time to train that one task, review, okay, does our expectations match? Do we match on expectations?
Yep.
And then have we overly communicated what is done? What's the process after it's complete? And then what you have to do as a leader, and this is the thing that I freaking hate. And I'll tell you about actually, where's the baby scroll? Let's just bust it out on the times where I didn't go back and review.
Checker gets what the checker checks.
Yeah. And that's the part that we want to just delegate, offload, and say, all right, you got this. No accountability. Yeah. You have to have, this is the next step. And we've talked about this before where, your leader or your team needs a leader and not a friend. This is where you're really accountable on what does their day-to-day look like? And I know I gave you that task. Talk to me about where we're at with that and what that looks like. Let's review that really quick just to make sure we have that.
What's the process from start to finish?
Right.
I want to reiterate what you're saying right now is overly communicate and then have checks in place to make sure that they continue to do it the way that it was originally taught.
Yeah.
Because we as humans, we try to take shortcuts. We get impatient. We just want to get it done.
Yeah, you got to be okay with too, though. And I get all of that. But again,
as long as it gets done.
As long as it gets done, but also be open to their way may be better than yours.
Yes, 100%.
So I think that there's room that you can really, make this something. We keep saying the word empower, but this is how you build a culture of people that are in this not for you but for them. And if they're at work for them, they show up in a different way. And that's what you want, is you want a team of people that are in line with your mission and your vision, but also are showing up because they know what they do makes an impact.
Absolutely. And I just want to hit on something right now that just came to mind, and it's patience. Patience with the process, because transparently, I still struggle with this today.
You have way more patience than I do, dude. I'm gonna pop off.
I want, when I assign something to someone, I teach them, and then it may not get done as fast as I would like it to get done, or as quickly, or as efficient, or whatever. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Or worse, I just go ahead and do it.
Take it back over.
I just do it.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can, trust that they're going to do it. Give them the opportunity to actually do it. And I know it's sometimes super hard because, look, again, that's something I've always struggled with in my career, but you have to do that. That is the only way you can ever actually step away. That is the only way you are ever actually going to be able to have the time freedom, have the financial freedom, actually be the CEO of your business. Like, you have to be able to work through that and be patient with your team.
But
what? What?
You also have to give them an expectation on when you want it to be done.
Yes, 100%. You got to set up the guardrails. You got to make sure they know, like, hey, this is the expectation.
This is where I always will catch myself, and you do a great job, is I can go through and I can set, like, okay, this is what done looks like. This is the task. You have the skill set. I can empower. I can hype you up. And then there's that last step of saying, okay, this is what done means. And this is when I am expecting this to be completed. If you don't tell somebody, I think that's the thing that we really get hung up on, and we want to take the task back.
Yep.
Is they don't do it as quickly as we want them to.
Yeah.
But we haven't communicated when do we want it done.
Okay, but here's the other thing.
What?
Is even when you communicate it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say it's got to be done at 6 o'clock on Tuesday.
That's precise.
All right. And it's 5 o'clock and they haven't got it done yet. You still have to trust that they're going to get it done by 6 o'clock.
God, see, that's what makes my skin crawl. Because I'm like,
and here's the thing. You don't go over to them and be like, hey, so that task is 6 o'clock, eh? Like it's 5 o'clock.
Start micromanaging.
You know that, right? Like it's 5 o'clock. This is what I'm talking about, though. Because now, if it doesn't get done, that's a conversation. But more than likely, it's going to get done. It may get done at 5:59, but done is done. All right? Like,
done is done. And I think that's so great that you bring that up, because we're all going to, as long as it's done, that's the thing that really matters. Done to your expectation.
Yes.
You guys have an understanding. That's what's going to give you the freedom that you crave, that you desire, that right now you're missing in your job, in your business, in your life. Like, you could apply this freaking anywhere.
Everything in your life. Everything.
Yeah. Like,
if you can't delegate, if you can't empower, you're always going to have something to do.
this is where you go,
Like,
I have to do everything.
like,
it's up to me.
Are you
I'm
living
overwhelmed.
are you living to work, or are you working to live? Like, you built a business for a reason. You have a life for a reason. If you're constantly just, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do, like, are you even living life? Like, shit, man, what we here for? Like,
yeah,
dang.
And are you actually doing
the things you enjoy,
that you're really good at,
that you're happy, that you love to do, that you're good at, that make you feel like, dang, man, I just knocked that out of the park.
Yep. So we gave you the framework. I think we've kind of like brought this all full circle of, here's what happens when you don't do this. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You feel it right now. Your skin is crawling. You're listening and you're nodding your head like, yep, I know exactly what you're
handcuffed.
saying.
You can't do anything.
Right. You know that feeling. We've shared where this has come up multiple times. Like, we're still navigating this and we're still learning this. But I want you to really think, let's project now that you've empowered, even if it's one person in your office with the tiny tasks. I want you to start thinking about, what does your day look like when you're doing the things that you freaking crush it in, that only you can do.
I was just going to say that. You just took the words out of my mouth. Like,
snatched them.
You got to figure out, what is it that only you can do in your business?
Yeah.
That only you can do and that you like, and everything else needs to be offloaded. With time. I'm not saying offload it tomorrow, unless you have the team ability to do so.
Yeah.
But over the next, give yourself a deadline. Hey, over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, this is what's going to have to happen to be able to offload the things that others can do, so I can just focus on what only I can do.
Right. Right. Oh, it's so good.
We good?
Oh, we're so good.
We good?
Let's have freedom. Let's have fun. Let's make this enjoyable again. But there are certain things that you're going to have to let go of, and you're going to have to be okay with. And in return, you will get freedom. In return, you will have way more fun. You'll be able to do what you love to do. The crazy thing is, when you think about how diverse all of us are as human beings, our skill sets, our talents, what we enjoy, the thing that you don't like, the thing that every time you go to do it and you go, ugh, maybe something that somebody else goes, hell yeah, I'm so excited to do this.
100%.
That's
Absolutely.
the craziest thing, but you haven't asked.
Yep.
You haven't asked for help. You haven't delegated, you haven't set them up, you haven't trained, you haven't empowered them, and then you haven't let them run.
Yep.
If you do that, it's going to be a lot more fun.
I mean, I'd just like to end with one thing.
Okay.
If you can't leave your business for a month, you haven't delegated and empowered enough.
Ooh, that's the goal.
Without being able to check email, no, I'm talking about no work at all. You disconnect for a month.
It's a bold claim.
Hey,
It's been done.
it's been done.
That's why we
All right,
say
so
it.
y'all, we appreciate you. If you guys enjoyed the episode today, please let people know about it. Give us a 5-star review. Tell people about us.
On social media, that's my favorite place. Tag us. What was your favorite? I know this is gonna
Tag us.
We're doing the same hand motions and everything. What was your favorite quote? What was your biggest takeaway? Shoot us a message. Make sure and tag it on social media. Let us know. We have so much fun doing this and sharing this with you, but we want your guys' feedback too on what did you get from this episode? And we understand because we've been there. So that's what we're always trying to do, is just provide as much value to you as possible. So thank you for being a part of the show.
Absolutely. And if you haven't texted us, shoot us a text, 816-727-7610. Make sure you hashtag the buzz. We'd love to talk to you. Other than that, my friends, as always, time is the most valuable and important asset that we all have. We appreciate you spending some time with us. Go out and make it great.